Hi there, music lovers. This is John of hornsmasher.com. And although there are many maintenance services that can only be done by a qualified repair technician, there is much you can do yourself to keep your flute playing at top performance. In this video, I'm going to explain some basics about how your flute works and the maintenance you can do with the materials provided in my hornsmasher.com flute care kit. Doing this monthly maintenance will prolong the playing life of the instrument and extend the time before it needs major repairs. So the question becomes, what type of deterioration happened to your flute over time, and what can you do to slow that down? Your flute is a machine, and just like any other machine, it is subject to mechanical wear from the up and down motion of the keys. This machine also has to operate in a very humid atmosphere caused by your breath passing through the horn. Your breath contains moisture that suspends sugars, acids, and bacteria. These contaminants build up on the inside, outside, and the pads of the flute. Over time, all of these contaminants will break down the normal operation of the instrument. The main issues we will address are the problems caused by moisture. If we take a key off the flute, you will see that the keys are held in place with steel rods and pivots. The keys rotate around these rods, and over time, moisture will make the steel rods rust and cause the keys to become sluggish or even completely freeze up. Since oil and water do not mix, you can keep this from happening by oiling your keys about once a month. For this, I recommend and supply the Yamaha Key Oil. If you look closely at your flute, you will see that every key has two ends that need oiling. Think of it as a left and right side of each individual key. To oil the keys, we need to identify the left and right sides of each key and place a small drop of oil at each point, starting at the top of the flute and working our way down so that each key is oiled. After we have finished oiling, we want to work the keys up and down a few times to work the oil into the keys. And when we are done, we should wipe off the excess oil using a common paper towel. Another problem caused by moisture occurs inside the head joint. Inside the head joint is a part known as the tuning cork assembly. This part regulates the relative intonation of the instrument by its position inside the head joint. Over time, the moisture from your breath causes the cork to dry out, shrink, and become loose in the head joint. If we take the assembly apart, you can see it consists of 4 different parts, called the screw plate, tuning cork, end plate, and the crown. The first 3 parts go inside the flute, and the crown can be seen on the outside of the assembled head joint. Over time, the moisture from your breath causes the tuning cork to shrink and become loose. About once a month, you should check the tuning cork assembly to see if it is still holding firm within the head joint. To do this, we unscrew the crown about 3 turns in a counterclockwise direction. We then gently try to push the crown in and out. It should not move. If it does move, it means the tuning assembly has become loose. The last step is to remove the crown and gently tap the head joint in the palm of our hand. If we hear a clicking sound, this means the end plate on the tuning assembly has become loose and needs to be retightened. To fix both of these problems, we need to remove the tuning cork assembly and tighten the end plate. With the crown removed, we use our official hornsmasher.com tuning cork tool set. There are 2 parts to this set, and we start with the rod marked removal. We stand it straight up on a firm table, the end with the hole in it should be facing up. And we place the screw plate rod into that hole. Then, using both hands, we push it straight down till the tuning cork assembly comes out the other side. Then, we use a common set of pliers to tighten the end plate until the cork slightly expands and becomes tight. Now that this is tightened up, we replace the assembly with the rod end going in first and let it drop into the head joint. We then place the small end of the tuning cork installation tool into the head joint. Turn it over and, holding the head joint with both hands, push it down until it hits the stop ledge on the tool. Doing this will place the cork in the approximate position it's supposed to be in, but it is not the final measurement. Every flute should have a cleaning rod used for swabbing out the flute after playing. However, this rod also has a second purpose. You will notice that there is a mark about 1/2 inch from the end opposite the loop. This mark is a precise indicator used to check the position of the tuning cork. To properly align the tuning cork assembly, we use the end of the rod with the mark and slide it up inside the head joint until it stops against the tuning cork assembly. We then look through the hole in the lip plate where we can see the indicator mark on the rod. This mark is supposed to line up in the center of the lip plate hole. If it is too far to the left, we need to loosen the crown a few turns and push it back until it is in the correct position. If it is too far to the right, we need to tighten the crown a few turns until it pulls up into the correct position. If you have tightened the end plate and the assembly is still loose in the head joint, it means the cork is defective and you will need to take it to a repair shop for a replacement. Each time you finish playing your flute, you should be doing the swabbing out procedure. That routine will keep the inside of the flute clean. However, over time, the outside of the flute will have a buildup of dust and dirt under the keys. To remove this dust, we use the Flute Key Brush supplied in my care kit. We want to place the brush against the body of the instrument and work it back and forth gently under the keys, starting at the top of the flute and working it all the way down to the bottom. We do not want to take our brush and push hard against the springs, as this may push the springs off of the flute. When we are finished, we want to use our cleaning cloth to wipe down any excess dust that has been knocked loose during the cleaning. Another problem caused by moisture is the buildup of sugars in the creases of the pads. These contaminants will make the pads become sticky and sometimes make a popping sound when you open and close the keys. To clean our pads, we use common rubbing alcohol in our horn smasher spray bottle. To begin, we take our cleaning cloth and spray a little alcohol on the cloth and place the cloth underneath the pads. We then hold the keys closed with one hand. Then, using the other hand, we draw the rag out from under the key. We then repeat the process with a clean cloth to dry any leftover solvents or contaminants that are left on the pads. We then repeat this process on all 16 pads of the flute. Our last step in the process is the exterior cleaning and polishing. Your hands contain oils that suspend acids and contaminants, which will cause the flute to tarnish and develop a slippery feel. Once again, we use our rubbing alcohol as a solvent for removing these oils. We just do a few sprays on our horn smasher cleaning cloth and wipe down the large areas of the body and the tops of the keys. Once these oils have been removed, we can do a light polish with our silver cloth, once again staying on the large areas of the body and the tops of the keys. Doing this monthly maintenance will prolong the life of the instrument and the time before your flute needs costly repair. Well, music lovers, that about wraps it up. This is Horn Smasher John, reminding you that all the materials used in this video are available in my official hornsmasher.com flute care kit, available for purchase on this website. See ya!